Hey guys, what's going on? Absolutely Beast here, bringing you a race on Forza 7 in 4K from my Xbox One X. So this is a race on the Nurburgring using the Renault RS17, which is the Formula One car. And so I'm just kind of sitting here at the beginning. I was enjoying the graphics, and so I was putting on some mods initially just to get some extra credits, and then I decided to take a look at the driver gear. Because I saw that I had a couple of new ones, which was interesting to me. I love this night one that I'm wearing right now. There's a couple of those new ones. There's a few other new ones here. Ready to go. The Microsoft one. Of course, there'd be a Microsoft one. So yeah, I mean, I really hadn't taken a look at these too much, but they look pretty good. Gymkhana, tuxedo. There's an orange tuxedo, business suit. I like that one. The biker, the orange tuxedo was kind of cool. Those are like 70s style tuxedos. What other ones we have going on here? So we got a welder. That's pretty cool. I like that mask. Football referee. That's pretty sick. Baseball catcher. I like that one. Not necessarily for anything else except for the helmet. The helmet on that one is sick. The cop is cool. There's a motorcycle cop. Look at this one. Diver. Oh, dude. That reminds me of that movie. Oh, look at that. That's the astronaut right there. Unreal. I mean, look how good that looks. Like the sheen and the shininess on there. The bandit. Or crook, as they call it. Skullflage. I mean, like, look at that. Like, look how good that looks. That's crazy. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I mean, that one's but that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Look at how absolutely ornate that is. Hip-hop one. Look at these ninja ones, man. These are so sick. So these were something that I'd looked at a little bit on Forza 7, or, sorry, on this game, but on the Xbox One S. But I hadn't looked at him yet on the One X. And that right there, the samurai, oh, that's one of my favorite things of all time. I love that old-style samurai. The mummy, that's kind of cool. I think these are Halloween special ones. I believe these were added after. So these are like a Halloween deal, which, are pretty cool, I guess. There's band leaders. But these look really good on the One X, the spa day. These look really, really good. Look at that one. Blue robot. These look really good on the One X. There's no shimmering. There's no jaggies, as I've heard them called before by people. There's no, they're not, the best looking things I've ever seen, but they all look real good. And compared to what they look like on the One S, they look way better. That's kind of a cool one right there. I like the simpler ones. Other than that one night one that's really ornate, or the samurai. Otherwise, I really like I love these. Love those with the Hans device. Oh my goodness, I love those so much. So I've yet to find one though that is in the because you can get the driver gear as rewards at the end of a race, and I've yet to find one that I really liked and that I ended up buying. A few of them, they're okay, but I like some of these other ones, and these are all manufacturer type ones, which is kind of interesting. But I don't know if you guys have seen these or not. I just hadn't seen these, and so I was looking at them at the beginning, and it's kind of a good way to showcase how much better the One X looks over the One S, because these all look much better. That camo one's pretty sick. I mean, these all look very much more refined, and yeah, I mean, they just look better. They look more sharp. They look you can see a little bit of shimmering around the goggles and stuff, but especially the suit that I'm wearing, the Knight's armor, on the One S, that was just ridiculous. It looked so, all the edges had little, deals on them, and they were real shiny and stuff, almost you can see, just on the helmet and the mouthpiece, there's a little bit of, shimmering. That was, the whole suit, basically. So, and this is me. I mean, look at the detail on the spoiler and stuff. I mean, you can actually see the carbon fiber weave. The tires, you can see each little individual fleck of gravel. You can see the sheen off of the car, and now in the One S it looked like a sort of a matte finish, but on this you can tell it's much more of a satin finish on the car. Which we're seeing. I mean, look, you can see the carbon fiber weave on the back of the thing, which that's pretty epic. That angle is sick, isn't it? And look at that angle right there. That's just an absolutely sick angle. I mean, you can see the tires. There's a little bit of phoniness to them, I guess. But they look, they look good, I think. And so yeah, so this is me racing on the Nurburgring with this car. I did do a 6-lap race. I cut out laps 4 and 5 because they were pretty uneventful. I rewound a couple of times on those laps, and just the whole race in general, I wasn't actually doing very well. So yeah, I mean, this is my tune. I mean, look at that. This is my tune, and every time I come to this car, because I don't drive this car all the time, every time I come to this car, I end up not being able to anticipate, because one of the things you have to do is be able to anticipate how the car's going to behave. You know, like when you're coming into a turn, you have to know how fast you can be taking the turn and how much to use, how much throttle to use, how much turn to use. And so this turn right here, this right-hander coming up is a perfect example. Watch how bad I botched this turn coming up. It's a real easy turn, and watch how much I jack it out. Watch this. Look at that. Horrible. And that one too, horrible. So, you know, for that one, you can use like a real subtle steering motion. You can steer just very subtly and make that work. Same with this one, and I hadn't figured that out until a couple of laps in. Yeah, so it also became very, I mean, look how bad that is. It also became very apparent to me that I really messed something up when I made this tune. This is my tune that I'm using, and it handles pretty well, but it pushes like an absolute MF, dude. Like, when you go to take a turn and you come off the throttle, like, this thing does not want to turn. You'll see it time and time again in this race. Just over and over again, I keep, like, the car doesn't even turn. It's real bad, so I really messed something up. I have a feeling it's a differential setting, because that's one of the only things that I messed with that would have affected that. But, see, like that, I mean, look how, well, I mean, that's, I don't know. It's hard to say until, like this one here. I mean, I had to get so far off the gas and get so hard on the brake in order to make that work. So I really jacked it up. I think it's the differential settings. Differential settings affect your like oversteer, understeer, in and out of corners. And what's happening with this car is when you come into a turn and you come off throttle, the understeer is absolutely insane. You'll see it here on this next turn coming up, this right-hander. I messed this one up. Nope, sorry, not that one. The next right-hander, just like that. I messed the turn up every single lap. I didn't hit it a single lap, and that's ultimately why I got so frustrated. This one right here. I mean, look at that. It literally didn't even turn. It looks like I didn't even turn coming into that corner. It looks like I'm just a moron, and I was just, like, not paying attention or something. I swear I was turning there. So what happens is you come into a turn, and there's two settings, acceleration and deceleration. Acceleration... it's basically the differential affects how quickly the tires lock under, oh wow, I guess I probably have my TV on right now. I hope you guys can't hear any of that. That's kind of awkward. So, differential affects how quickly the wheels lock, from right to left, because, you know, as you think about a turn, like if you think about like a track, like runners on a track, like the inside lane, they don't run as far as the outside lane. So inside tires, when you take a turn, don't move as fast as the outside tires, and so the differential, you know, is in charge or control of how much those tires are able to rotate at different speeds. Hence the name differential. But the acceleration is on like exit of a turn. So like as you're gassing it through a turn. I've turned that up so that it locks a little bit quicker, meaning there's a little more oversteer. But the deceleration setting I turned way down, because generally that makes the car a little more flat through a turn. But see, like, again, right there, literally the car didn't turn, dudes. It literally didn't want to turn. So for me, I think that's what it is, because it's only when I'm off throttle. You might see it again here. Look at that. Look at how bad that is. Like, it literally doesn't even turn. It's so messed up. So I was really upset, but I decided at this point that I just wanted to race it out. And see if I could get used to it. And I kind of got used to it a little bit, but not really. So I will definitely have to go back and readjust that. But I haven't had a ton of time because I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty. Obviously, that just came out, and that's really having me enjoy right now. And it's not that I don't enjoy this game, but I've just been really enjoying Call of Duty. I didn't play it all this year. I played a lot the previous year. But yeah, so anyway, I've just been doing that. So I just thought this was interesting. Because I love the Nurburgring, and I haven't really raced it yet with this car, so this is my first attempt actually doing it. I think I might have done a lap or two here and there, but this is my first like attempt at actually getting some time in. So it's about a 35-minute race or so. So I chopped a bunch of that out. Like I said, I removed laps 4 and 5 because there was nothing that happened. And, yeah, I think this video probably, it looks like it's maybe about 28 minutes or so, which is kind of long still. But I don't know, I've been trying to put up a little bit longer content. You know, if you guys don't watch the whole thing, that's, you know, I understand that. I don't often watch the whole content on longer stuff like that, but it's also nice to have, you know, whatever, a little bit of commentary at the beginning. And then, you know, at the end. See, like, I mean, dudes, like, that is just absolutely horrible. So I was like, had to rewind that. And then, you know, to have, like, some unedited racing at the end where you get to, you know, see the racing without me talking over is kind of cool because you can really appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, it's looking real good in 4K. Like I said, the first thing I noticed when I was racing this, you know, obviously I said this before on Le Mans, but the foliage and all the leaves and stuff along the side of the track look much improved over the 1S. And the first thing that I noticed, though, other than that, was the paint on the car. Like, the car, I thought was sort of a matte type finish, but as I said, you can see now it's really more of a satin type finish. So it's, you know, it's more like it has a lot more texture to it on the 1X. So I messed up the shifting there, so let's see how this goes here on this next corner. Like I said, this was the corner that I messed up every single lap. There were two that I messed up every single lap, and this was one of them until the last couple. See that? Look how much I oversteered on that. So it's just hard to predict this car. It's you know, it has a lot of the gripes that I had with the previous Lotus on Forza 6, which is it's just really twitchy, and I don't like that at all. I like to have a little bit of give to the car. So anyway, so yeah, you see how the car does that right there? As I come into the corner, it pushes really hard, but then as soon as I let off, like if I get back on the gas, it actually turns harder. And it sort of like squares the back out, which is really counterintuitive for me because, like, if you're going too deep in a corner, you want to lift off the throttle and let the car slow down so you can actually make it through the corner. But for me, it's real counterintuitive. I've had to be getting back on the gas when I don't want to be getting back on the gas. I'm not sure how I did that. I haven't had time to mess with the tune yet, but see, there it is again. Oh, just real understeer, like severe understeer. It could be, you know, it could be a roll bar issue also, because I did adjust that. Look at that. I mean, I can't believe how hard that car pushed out right there. I was steering as hard as possible. Just going out. So it could, you know, it could be a roll bar issue. I tuned those a little bit too, and I stiffened up the front. So it could just be that it's, you know, it's not making full contact with the ground. Because it's almost like it's very uncontrollable. It's not just like a preferential thing. It's not just like, oh, I don't prefer driving that way. It's just like it's wrong. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely not something where some people would pick it up and be like, oh, this is okay. No, it sucks. It's just not correct. So, as you'll see here, here's this next turn right here. This turn I messed up every single time. Look at that. Like, that is so unbelievably slow. So I was so far off the pace. Even my fastest lap here, I was seriously like 15 seconds or more behind the top guys. So, I was really off the pace. And, you know, I mean, I don't race as much as I used to, so it's definitely not like, you know, I should be up on the top page, but I thought for sure, you know, with a track like this, it's really hard to, I still remember this track, and I still know this track very well, so a lot of people, you know, don't because it's such a long track. So for me, you know, it was like, I know this track really well, so I figured I could do well, and I couldn't make it work. It wasn't quite working. So I was getting real frustrated, but I kept it on, you know, I kept going because that's how you get better. You know, you're not going to get any better at anything, you know, whether it's things like this or whether it's something in real life. You're never going to get, I mean, even though this is real life, honestly, let's be honest, even though we're playing a game, like, this is still real life. So it's not like some vacuum, like, simulation where nothing matters. Like, it actually does matter. You're never going to get anywhere by quitting, you know? By quitting and just giving up, you'll never get any better at anything, and that's why, you know, you see so many people online, especially when you race in multiplayer, who just, they quit, like, every race. You know, because when you quit, it just takes you back to the screen. That was close. See, that one right there? Look how bad that is, guys. I can't even tell you what that's like. Like, I want to be coming on the inside rumble strip just like I did right there on these turns, and it's not allowing me to do that. I know I keep harping on it, but, like, man, this tuner sucks. The guy that made this tune, I think his gamer tag is absolutely beast. He sucks, man. This tune sucks. It just requires more work. So this turn was hard too. I couldn't figure this one out. This was like a full, I mean, that wasn't terrible, but that was like almost like a full throttle turn in the previous games, and you can kind of do it in this one. You just not, you know, it's not full throttle, and that was bad too. But you know, if you face a little bit of adversity and you quit, you know, you see these guys. You just watch Thursday Night Football. You see these guys who, you know, make it to the NFL, and then of those guys, only some of them stick around for more than a couple years, and of those guys, only some of them are good enough to be starters all the time, and of those guys, only some of them are good enough to be like Pro Bowl type guys. Those are guys who don't give up. You know what I mean? It's not like the first time they ever faced any adversity, they just quit. You know, they would have quit in middle school football if they did that. So, you know, as much as I was frustrated and not, I mean, like, seriously, like, lap 3, like, halfway through this next lap, I was just like, man, dude, this sucks. Although, actually, maybe lap 3 was a faster one, because I did get a fast one in there. The fastest one, I believe, was, maybe it was lap 3. See, so I'm 11 seconds faster than that. Maybe it was that one right there. But at a certain point, you know, it's just like, man, I don't know. So I could have raced longer, I guess, but the Rivals mode is not really great in here, so they don't even have anything for X Plus yet, so this is basically just a free play race I set up. And you don't get any credits, I don't believe, if you quit the race, so I had to finish the race. See, again, there, that was a directional change thing, so that's what makes me think it could be the roll bar, because I went a right and then a left, and it just, the car did not handle it well at all. But again, if I'm off the gas, it could be differential, so it's just something that I'm not sure. So, yeah, I mean, that was one of the first times I got that turn right there. So, anyway, I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing me talk. So, this game looks glorious in 4K. I mean, for all the talk that they did about it, again, I'll say this. Those of you who are interested in the 1X, if you're not, like, really into the graphics and you're not really paying attention super hard, I mean, you know, if you're going to be into it, if you're going to get the 1X, I assume you're going to be into it, but I mean, even for those of you that are wanting it and you have 4K, it's really, I'm not going to say it's tough to tell the difference, but you really have to look to tell the difference. I'm sure, you know, the quality of these videos looks much better, you know, compared to what the 1080p was before, and double the frame rate, so 60 instead of 30. But, I mean, really, even on my TV, even when I'm looking at it, you know, like, for a game like Forza, it already looked so good in 1080p, like, it's pretty hard to tell the difference, unless you really know what to look for, and unless you're really familiar with the game. And so, yeah, I mean, it looks great. It's really impressive. It's real smooth. The other thing that I'm really impressed by is how quiet the console is. It is super quiet. Like, almost like you wouldn't even know it was on if it was. Like, my computer at idle is louder than the Xbox when I'm fully gaming, which is really crazy to me. I mean, that just kind of blows my mind. So, here we come again to my favorite turn here in a second. So that one right there, that's not even the other turn, and that's when I got really frustrated. And I was just like, man, I can't do this. Like, I'm not going to be able to race this tune for another, you know, 15 minutes without getting real upset. And there's that corner too. See that? I hit the inside rumble strip, which I should, and it just completely upsets the car. The car just goes sailing into the wall. Real hard. So anyway, I'm totally beating a dead horse. This horse has been dead for like, I mean, I've been blowing hot air for 13 minutes. This horse has been dead for like 8 minutes. So, thank you guys for checking this out. Watch to the end of the video if you want. It looks real good. I end up, you know, I mean, I'm a decent racer, but I was just really having trouble with this car and just sort of figuring it out. So make sure you guys check back soon if you like this content. My Forza video from the other day had a real good reaction. You guys really seem to like that one. Thank you for that. Make sure you subscribe if you like this kind of content, and check back soon for something new. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much.